Okay, you had asked about why the price of gas has been high. There are a few factors. One of it is the VAT impact, of course. Now we have VAT, and by the Finance Act of 2020, the bulk of the implementation was the 2021 implementation. So we have that effect as part of the problem. Number two, there has always been infrastructure constraint, both logistic infrastructure and even storage. To move gas around, you need the specialized equipment, specialized trucks, specialized facilities for storage and logistics. Though we're coming up, but a whole lot of those things are still not quite where we need them to be. And we also have FX issues. We've seen as the Naira has continually depreciated over the last couple of years, or even more than a couple of years anyway. And because our needs are not being met 100% locally, so in fact, a chunk of our consumption is still being imported. So whatever affects the dollar will automatically affect the price of the imported product under the current situation. So that's more or less accounting for the problems that we have seen in that particular space. Nigeria is flaring gas, that is true. So the question is, how do we tackle it? Why are there no investment yet in that space, no new investment? PIB was passed just a few months ago after 12 years of the National Assembly. These are things that will provide clarity for an investor on what the investment space of Nigeria is regarding our oil and gas. But we dragged our feet for so long. We just passed it a few months ago. Investment decisions, deploying the actual investment and making this investment to start working for us take a bit of a time. So let's say over the next few years, we should begin to see most of those things come into place. Over those next couple of years as well, some structural changes here and there, some policies that will help to drive those investments. We expect more of those in that place. But the overarching law, which is the PIB, has already been passed. There's even a new law on climate change. And for all you care, it should have an effect in helping us drive the right behavior as far as gas flaring is concerned. Is it right to impose VAT on a gas importation? VAT is a consumption law. The gas is a consumption. So if it's a consumption, the real problem is not the fact that you're imposing a consumption tax on a consumption. Rather, it is the structure that we need to deal with, especially the supply structure for gas in our environment. We have the Nigerian liquefied natural gas that provides some of what we consume. I've spoken about infrastructure constraint. So if we deal with the supply side of things, our problem will shift away from the issue of whether a consumption tax has been imposed on a consumption. That is not the core issue. So what can be done? The festive season is here already. What can we do to ensure that the burden is not that weighty? This is November. The festive season is December into maybe early January. That is a very short term. That is more or less like an emergency. There is not much that can be done within that period except specific government intervention. So government may decide in its wisdom and say, I'm going to make dollar available for the importation of gas. It becomes what you call a priority allocation to that sector. And every other thing that will allow the importation to happen smoothly and the distribution to be smooth will help a great deal. Beyond that, there are not many things that can be done in such a short 1 month period to transform the importation space. Only government can step in that space, provide certain level of intervention, and make the weight less burdensome on the people.